I just started this morning and I decided it's the time to answer to you on how I paint characters using animation. You know, these frames where, maybe let me show you. These frames where there's like so many like guidelines. You may have seen it in animes you like and such, like something like this. I'll be using Clip Studio Paint to start to continue one animated music video I just started. And we have to set how will I ink, how will I color the frames and adjust that, but I will have a team helping me do the coloring. So we need to set the guidelines on how do I transmit, okay, put the shadow here, put the highlight there, and things like that. So I'll be doing it myself this time, but while teaching them. So if you're interested, you can also learn about it if you're saying this now or in a recording. Right, let me show you what I mean. So I refer to something like this. So basically, like when you see like something like this, like there's like the line, there's like highlights mark, there's like shadows, what skin, things like that, and notations. So if you want to understand that and use it for your own production, just keep watching this video. In this case, we still have to draw a bit more the character and then paint it. Because I'm doing this as a tutorial, it will not be like a final animation thing that maybe we may use. But anyway, will be useful. So we're just like sketching the character. And I'm adding it inside here, right? Normally we have like this one layer for the draft. So this is an animation folder, which means that if we go around our timeline, I have this here, one. Then if we select it like, let me select Control D. If we go and wait, this is not it. It is. Oh yeah, it's blocked. Yeah, so if we select like right click 2 and we have any drawing in 2, like hi, then when we move in the timeline we have like the animation itself. So this time we're just working in one frame and I'll try to do it as final as possible. So, and each frame has like this folder number 1, that's the number you see here. This folder number 1 has the like many more folders that I prepared in a previous live stream. You have the one with the line, the one with will have like highlights, shadows, more shadow, like shadow line, shadow guide, where the color will go, and then the draft. So let's do the draft now. Hello, Two Frame Studios here, saying hi in the chat. Nice, glad to see you. So you'll see today, actually I think you're one of the people that asked this question on how do I color stuff. We haven't even set the level of detail that we're using, most likely something like this. Here in this window called subview, most likely you can get it from somewhere here, is used to, as you see, actually you don't see it maybe. I hope you can see my mouse changing, but in here it's like as if I'm pressing Alt, it means I'm using the color selecting tool. So for example, now I'm using blue as you can see, but if I just click, for example, in here, I'm getting the red, like I'm not using any shortcut right now to change my tool. It's like I'm painting, I have white now, so either I'm painting, I'm clicking on to get the color, so that's super fast if you have here some colors you want to use, and also to see. So this is like an open file that you can charge many files, like add many files here, you change them, you can move them, like if I press space bar I can move around. It's super convenient. She's still quite thin, but not as thin as she used to be. Again, this is one of my characters from my webcomic, Win the Lightning. She's not the main character, she's the little sister of the main character. Let's be honest, I'm faster when I'm not streaming. I'm saying what I'm thinking, but I'm with lag. By the way, you may notice some new things in the live stream screen. You will see that I moved my webcam, so you can see where am I at in the layers, which is important for this live stream. And I also added, as you can see, I think, let me see, it should be around here, there's like a tip jar. So if you decide to do a donation through Patreon or PayPal, which link is in the description of this video, you'll see like an animation with the jar, and it's cool. In the future, maybe I will like make it a bit more special, like from the themes of our channel. And remember that also, if you add this donation, you will see like a slight thing below in the, for you it's the left side below, with your name and the amount increasing, and you'll help in this stream to make things more, well, to allow me to keep doing this, because again, I'm faster when I'm not streaming. So even if I love doing this, I still need to, it still needs to work a bit financially, ideally. Right, so let's make the brush thinner. Every time I do a new sketch, normally I do the brush thinner, so it's more close to the final drawing. Now that's for the face. And now let's do full body drop. Woohoo! We'll have to decide how many loose hair we'll want for her very carefully, because that means more animation time. Okay, in the reality I'll draw a more beautiful hand and most likely take a picture of myself doing this position and everything will be beautiful, but right now it's when the fun thing's starting, the inking, the coloring. So please, if you make questions, I'll give you priority, because you'll be the ones helping me, most likely in the future. But anyone who has questions, please go ahead. So okay, it's the draft. Let's make it much lighter so I know what's going on. And we'll start with a line. Actually, let's go for the one we'll use. I'll most likely use like a brown-ish color for the line. So I'll add it here. It's easy to use, like in this color set, so you can like select the colors faster. Line in size 2. In this case, actually, because this will be in 4K, maybe we could go a bit thicker. Let's go size 3, let's see. Yeah, something like that will be pretty. As you see, I'm using this still like this is still like a keyframe, but when you do in-betweens, you'll be using this way to ink. So you should look at this as well. I use this line, this curve thing, 3 size important anti-alias with like super pixelated version. Like this would not be okay, because then we cannot color easily, alright? So let's use this super pixelated thingy. And I use it. You can also use the pen tool, but then it's not as, it will not look the same, alright? So please do use this tool. It's relatively easy to get used to it. So basically you click somewhere, you drag and then let go, and when you let go you can decide the curve, and then when you click again it stays still. So that's how it works. Sizer Mar is a really great artist. She's also underrated. Thank you. She should be noticed more. Please help me sharing. If you think so, like sharing is also a great way to help. It's not just all about donations, which have a great impact. When you erase, please use hard eraser and again anti-alias in this side. Why is it not exactly an anti-alias? Okay, rough. This is the one, I think. Rough in anti-alias. And no, the final thing will not look pixelated. We'll do magic. Let's look at 100%. So if I look at, here, if I click here, I go to 100%. Is this line too thick? I like it. I like it this way. So I've been using this tool for a long while. So I'm very used to it, but in the beginning, if you use the curve tool, you may struggle to make sure that it goes exactly where you want it to go. And then you use like the eraser to like sort of shape better, like especially the edges. Again, is a tutorial on how I do animation frames for my animations, and especially for the new team members. And I'm basing it on the animation style in Japan. I've been training in Tokyo, not exactly in digital animation, so this part I learned online, but I know like the coloring rules and guidelines from studios and such, and that's what we use. This looks terrible, but painted it will look nice, you'll see. Sometimes I just use the pen. So again, anti-alias, rough pen, you put it in the same size and go for it. Say hi if you're new. I mean, you can just look around or say something in the comments if this is maybe you're saying this as a recording later. Just say something. You can still ask questions. I may reply to you in the comment, or maybe in a new stream, I don't know. Some animators will recommend you to use like the pen tool, so you are actually like better at controlling your lines with your wrist. I don't see the necessity right now. And do it this way. Just faster to get things looking more like the same and still beautiful. So what's here? Okay, so apparently we have excellent connection right now. Let me know if you can see me and everything. Yeah, this curve tool is super great for long lines, really. Especially if you're doing one of these line thingies and you press escape, it will just disappear automatically. You don't have to control Z. But let's put this a bit less opacity in the layouts thingies, so layout frames, because otherwise I cannot see that the lines are connecting beautifully. Let's check that I'm painting in the line layer. Good. As you can see, actually the frame is going out. Like the frame ends here. So actually in this area, if it's not perfect, it will be fine, but just to exemplify a good one, let's do it. If I give you a file and you can see the frame ends and nothing else, you have to do everything perfectly. But sometimes you'll see a new layer that says no details here, and it's like a frame where you know that, okay, that area, if it's like wherever, it's fine, because I will crop it. I mean, of course, as a studio, I want to grow and reach more people to help more like us. I'm just so grateful to have you here, like from the first day. It's just amazing. I'm just so grateful. It's so good. It's so good. I don't know if I show enough. Right, so here's the character, Control-C. There's the line part. So now we'll start doing the shadowing guidelines and so on. So, if this was something I need to give to someone in the team or that I need to paint later and such, how would I mark this? First, I would most likely add a shadow line in super deep blue, always in the same blue, important. In this layer, the blue layer, I will make the shadows. I know by memory that the sun comes from this side. I almost pointed the screen, but you wouldn't be able to see that. And basically just think about how, nope. And I make the shadows, the shadow guidelines, but it's really messy if you're someone trying to paint it and you're not me, like what part is shadow, what part is side. So then we'll add a shadow guide, not just a shadow line. Okay, so this is also how much detail will go. So by that, a lot of shadows or not much, it will also change quite a lot the amount of work later. But let's make it beautifully and detailed now, just for the sake of showing how it looks like and to show like all the differences, things, and what you could find if you are to paint something I created in this studio. Again, we're using the same brushes as before, super sharp, very important. So right now you see it's just a lot of blue lines, and it's very difficult to know like this is the sky, this is hair, this is shadow, this is not. So of course, like now it's just in my head, and later we'll have more guidelines to understand how it works. I'm an entity. Got to reply. Right, so the rest will be shadows for this type of color, but we'll have an extra shadow level for the skirt. Alright, fun part, the guide. So in the shadow guide, we will have different colors to tell our colorist theme. Okay, not yet. First, the highlight line, which, by the way, the highlight line is also used to close areas that have no lines but should be different colors. For example, in the eye, we would make a line to mark that the white in the eye of the white of the color in the white of the eye and the color in the skin are separated here, right? Yeah, so usually I use red to separate things that are colored differently. Like for example, in this design, this character has like a different color in the neck area than in the body area, so I separate it with this line here, and for her it's just this eye part. So yeah, usually I would actually make the line and inside it will be yellow, but in this case, okay, it's just like this, and there's no other really shiny things. Now, shadow guide. In the shadow guide, we'll make things way more easier to understand for the coloring artist. Usually start with the skin. So what's skin here? We'll go to the what are shadows in the skin, what are shadows in the hair, what are shadows in the clothes, and so on. If you do it in different colors, it's more easy to understand. So normally I separate like this, like skin, hair, and everything else. So I use like a light skin tone, and I color with this, refer to other layers. So this shadow guide, there has no other layers, but because we're selecting this refer to other layers, I can just paint like this, and you get it, right? These are shadows in the skin area. This is the neck, this is the ear, here we'll have clothes. Okay, this is the body and shadows in the body. Okay, so that's skin shadows, and actually technically this one as well. Right, for the hair I use purple because it's pretty. And usually it's these like purple or green. It depends on the studio actually, the colors they use, as far as I know. What I've seen often is purple and green and such. You could actually do whatever you want, but let's keep it classic so we can recruit anyone from anywhere. It's easy for them to adapt. So it would be the hair, and the eyebrows I do them in the color of the hair. Like I want the shadow color here, And now we go for everything else with light blue. Let me save. Again, if you have questions, go ahead. And yeah, that will be it. As you see, there's a lot of shadows. Purposefully, it's a lot. Okay, so it's a normal shadow color. Technically, the skirt will have only 2 colors, really. So the skirt will have like 3 layers of color. Normal color, shadow, like 1 layer of shadow, the one that I'm painting blue, and the second layer of shadow, because I know that the character will move to the light and then we'll see the light of the skirt. That's why I'm painting it blue. Otherwise, if it's just 2 colors, technically it will be the color and just the shadow. I don't know if I'm explaining myself wrong, but well, but basically we're having a second layer, so I'm going like darker blue to explain that. And same here actually. So let me select this. Okay. Oh, actually, aha, see? This is the hand, the other hand that's covered. This is, we said clothes will go there, and in this area, in the line, we'll use red and make a cross. Actually, it's a line, sorry. We'll make these crosses to say, actually no, this is here. We'll make this cross, like this red cross says that even if this is a closed area in the character, actually it's like a, it's transparent, it's like just like a hair that's going loose and so on, right? So like don't add color there. That will use actually like you should have, if you're coloring for this theme, you'll have like something like this where you have like the characters and then easy to pick colors. But right now, because this is like one of my first tests for this character, we don't have it yet. So like the 3 levels of the skirt, levels of the shirt, skin, hair. Has blue eyes, should be the same as Wendell's, because the made a folder into another folder. So I'm continuing. I hope you're reading me and listening to me and so on. Anyway, this will be recorded and used later. If you have questions now when they're recording, just put them below. Let's imagine you receive this file, right? Like you have to paint this character. So you'll check the file, you'll see like you have the line, good, you have the shadow line, good, you have the highlights, good. By the way, the shadow guide in the highlights should be right yellow, by the way. I forgot to paint it, but that's how we mark it. It's yellow. And usually actually the line should be already colored by me, like this is how, like if there's black, I'll also paint it before delivering it to you, like, or the whoever does the key animation, they should. So let's imagine you're someone from the team, you receive this file, you have all this, like you have a layer that says color, that's where your color will have to be, a layer with the shadows, lines and so on. So what I will do first, after checking that everything is in the right layer, is I will put the color above the shadow line, and put the shadow guide, the color layer above the shadow guide. So the shadow guide goes into less opacity, it makes things more visible. The color. So when you're picking the colors, okay, and just dropping them here, usually you'll be able to add like your guide file here in the sub view, and then it's super easy because you're in the fill tool, in the refer other layers sub tool, and you just like select and paint. So click, 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 click. You don't have to like press anything in the keyboard. You just Control Z. I was just showing. But because in this case I don't have prepared a color sample, I'll just be using these colors from here. All right. So I will have to do a bit more clicks. I like just like shortcut thing. Just pressing Alt to select, to get the select tool. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the color. Usually I would block layers I'm not touching. It makes things simpler. Especially the line one is the one that you really don't want to miss. So let's color. Normally I start with the shadows. Okay. So shadow, hair, shadow, hair, shadow, hair. It's easier to see. Shadow, hair. Right, so purples in this case. It's easy. Right, make sure there's no like little yellow like white thingies. Normally you can check this in the end. Okay, so that's the hair. Now I'll go for the light part of the hair. Just click, click everywhere. Oh, mistake. Right, that's why it was very important that it's like super pixelated and such. If we would have done it like with a brush pen and then you want a color next to it, you get like all this craziness, right? So you really want a super strict pen where you have color or no color, no in-betweens. Okay. You'll see why this is important very soon and how we'll take out the pixelated effect and make it smooth again magically. Next, skin. I mean, you can do the order you want, but what I do suggest is that you go for shadows first. Okay. This case, the skin, like the color here, I'll invent it. You shouldn't do that. You'll have like a sample with any color, and if you don't have it, you'll have to ask me for it. Right, so don't invent stuff. And the light, let's make something like this. And then, for example, let's say that you need to change, like, oh no, I made a mistake and the shadows should have been another color. Well, what you can say, I have a shortcut for that, but what you should do is, wait until it saves. In select area, select color garment, you select the color, click here, and it selects all the layers that are using that color, like all the parts in that, like in any layer that are using that color. And because you're in the color so on, you could just like say like, okay, instead of this color I want it to be more reddish and not as strong. And then when you paint one, you don't paint the others. But you could also like just like get the brush, make it enormous and paint everything, and then it will be the color you want. Control D, you're not selecting anymore. There's other software to paint that when you paint, it will also paint automatically, like the blue, for example, that we'll still have here, and we'll have to paint later. But I use Clip Studio Paint so far. So if you have another software that gets the same results and faster, please go ahead. Alright, so we have hair and such. Now let's go for the clothes. Again, let's start with the... As you see, like all the colors are in the same layer now. Okay. Oh, I may have painted something around here by mistake. Let's just take it out. Okay. So yeah, secondary shadows. In the shirt. There we go. It looks a bit odd, like it's actually pink. So again, I don't like it, so I select color garment and say I want it to be much lighter. So let's do this. Much lighter. Paint it all. Now let's go for the skirt. So let's go like super dark shadow first. Right? And then usual shadow color here. And light. For the highlights, which I didn't create the color for them, let's just go now and paint it. Again, sorry, have to paint it in the in the actual thing. Okay, so highlight, and here it will be pure white in this case. Now we need to paint the lines. Ah, see, there's a big mistake here. So how do you fix that? It's very troublesome, most likely. So yeah, select like refer to all layers, and then color it. The color it has to be. This was actually the handkerchief, right? Now we'll color the lines. So how I color the lines is usually I log transparent pixel and paint them important with the dark color, like this. Right? Just paint on them. Paint on them. It's quite fast, really. Just make sure that, for example, now there's still a line here, right? You don't see it, but it's still there, so don't like trespass when you're painting. But other than that, see, like right now I trespassed a bit. Other than that, it's quite straightforward. So like, should be purple. You know that it should be light purple. This is the darker cloth. This usually is something I would do while like in more chill time, like in the afternoon, because it doesn't require a lot of as much brain skill as actually like painting the character, let's say. Soccer time it is. Right. Again, use the when there's two colors to differentiate, always choose the shadow one. Okay. This may differ from studio to studio, and it's important that it's clear that you're using their guidelines. Also, it's important, like, see, like if I just paint it in another color, it will select things differently, maybe. So I have to select the area, and even then it's a bit ugh. Okay, then not with select, let's do color garment selection. Okay, now it's exactly what we want, and now I can paint on it. Boom. Okay, good. What do we do with them? With the highlight line, maybe you've noticed I did the same, just log the transparent pixel and paint. In this case, it's with it's actually with a light color, because it's what makes sense. Line. Again, paint. So, the next step, by the way, we can delete that part now. Like, take out the log transparent and actually erase that X. Okay. And now is when we do this magic parts where we see that, oh, actually this should be this color, so you have to fix it. Again, everything's super sharp. So we will click on here, combine to layer below. So basically you combine the shadow line and highlight line to the color line. So now it's all together, okay? Important. All together. We just have line, color, and the guide, which we don't need anymore. We can even not see it. We're almost there. And now we use this tool. In the fill tool, there's like this paint unfilled area. You select, for example, if you wanna fix this with the color of the hair, like the shadow hair, you just select, make sure that it's selected that color. And then you go through it, just paint with it, and then the white and like, let's say irregular parts will get painted in that color. right? For example, here we want it to be painted in the skin layer, so click here. Magic, see? So it's me like Alt, select the color and use this tool on it. Alt, boom. This is so fast, it's so cool. Like I think there's still a bit of blue here, so see? Boom, boom. So I don't have to like pixel by pixel really. At some points it may not work so smoothly, but in general it's just marvelous, this tool. So you see these things. Okay, here we have another one. Right, good. There we go. Magic, magic. Alright, so we're just deleting all these tiny white areas, or even still like some blues that were left from the shadow line. Okay. Above the line, most likely I'll ask you to paint the highlight above the eye, above the line, and that should be it. Now I did paint her, but it's still pixelated, right? So for our studio purposes, you would send it like this for a check, right? If you're using another software to paint it, you would send me only the color file in PNG, so I can just like upload it here and like just match it with my line. Alright, so if you paint this in Photoshop, you just look for the line of the color, you paint it there, and then just send me like this, like just this, right? The color, and I'll match it. And then what I would do is, other than checking things like this, we forgot this area. Okay, I will check and I'll say okay, it's good, and when we pass it to animation, what I do is I make a copy normally of the full cell. Okay, so 1A, I'll put it here so we can see it. Yeah, it doesn't matter how I do it, but I want to show you what happened, like how is the final thing. So now we have this copy. Merge select the layers, so now everything is together, like the line and so on, and you will filter, blur, and smoothing. As you see, I even have a okay, so we have some technical issues with my internet today. But yeah, the last thing I did is blur and smoothing. If you click here, it turns everything like this. See, now it's of course, like that's why it's important that you make sure that there's no like stupid white dot and such, but in general, see, now it's like smooth, and if you go here like and you put like into 100%, it looks perfectly fine, like no pixels, beautiful lines, possibly beautiful colors without this white thickness, and that's it. Okay, so we finished her. Look at how beautiful she is. Oh no! Oh no! Okay, so I was recording everything on my end and I will upload it summarized as a tutorial. Okay. So I apologize. I know like the internet wasn't very behaving a lot, and then I just realized that you have to restart to transmit to start the stream again, because the other times when I just reboot my Wi-Fi it just worked automatically, but this time apparently it went off. So I hope that if you're seeing this in the stream now or in the future, or like in the screen record, in the live stream recording, or if you're seeing this as a tutorial later, I hope you enjoyed it and you learned. You can ask me in the comments. And this coloring took longer than usual because I had to create the palette, so I just created like a palette on the go. But in most cases, if you have the palette right here, like I have this guy here, Wendell, and you just need to like click in the color, not even short color, just click like and go through it, it's really fast. For me, it depends on the difficulty of the thing, but this can take like, once you have everything, like the shadows and such, it could be like 10-20 minutes at most. And that's because normally I do it like at the end of the day when I'm tired and I'm just doing it while watching series, so it could be like really fast to color once you know the character and have all the tools ready. Like you're used the Clip Studio Paint, it could even take less in some other softwares or more. So I'll be leaving for today. I've been around for, I cannot even count it, but most likely 2 hours. So thank you very much. Always consider supporting by maybe joining the team, maybe letting other people, just letting people know it exists, making comments helps. Donations, of course, like if you want to donate through PayPal, it helps directly the studio, especially to just like refund like the webcam or the monitor, things like that. And even becoming a Patreon where you actually want to get more rewards and stuff. And then the thing is in the screen that you can see in the left below part will like also do some fun stuff. But anyway, it's always nice to be here around you. It gets lonely when you work from home in these things and you cannot talk about it, so please keep staying around if you enjoy it. I'm always open to feedback, creative, like constructive feedback. Like I take negative feedback also very well. When can we expect the tutorials? Like you can expect it this week because you're part of the team. Thank you very much for watching, and remember, this is just the way my studio, my animation studio works. And other students may do it a bit differently, but it should be quite similar, even if it's in traditional terms. So they will use like this, like blue, red lines, and then like shadow it. Actually, they shadow it behind the paper to mark like what can you do. So like you have like a paper with a line in pencil of the character, then you have like blue pencil and red pencil directly to mark the shadows and highlights. That's what you scan. But in the back of the paper, you will have like line in blue where are the actual shadow areas, like the volumes of them. So they use a very, very similar way. So when you, next time you see a frame, animation frame, like in the process, you will be able to understand and how to read it. See you guys in the next one. I'll keep streaming most likely. It depends on how much time I have, because again, if I'm faster when I'm not streaming, even if I love it, I'll stream less. So fingers crossed. If you can support, even if it's just sharing, please do. And anyway, thanks again for being around here. I'm not good at saying goodbyes, that's why it takes so long. But that's it. Bye and see you in the next one.